Hello, everybody. This is Giancarlo here. I'm going to be hosting the webinar today, so hope everybody's doing well. Just going to wait off for a little bit to wait for everybody else to get in here. As people are starting to funnel in, we'll just give it like 30 more seconds. For the people that are here, can you hear me okay? Just type in the chat and let me know. Awesome, awesome. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. All right, guys, let's get started. For those that don't know me, my name is Giancarlo. I am a new broker here at EdgeClear. Just got my Series 3, so feeling pretty good about being a new broker here. Let's get started with the disclaimer. As always, derivatives trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of future results. So on the agenda today, we will give an intro to EdgeProX. I'm sure some of you know what it is, and if you don't, just give a quick intro to EdgeClear. And then I will be going over the EdgePro Line, which is something that we developed into EdgeProX, and then cloud levels, along with a quick Q&A. So what is EdgeProX? EdgeProX is an all-in-one solution for active traders, capable of having MBO functionality, equipped with volume profiles, TPO charts, and it has native order flow tools, fully functional 300 indicators, indicator layering, native to Windows, Mac, and Linux, runs Rithmic, CQG, or IQFeed. All these features are available for the low price of $34.99 a month. Some of the other things that it offers, I already went over some of this, but it has a heat map, volume imprint, volume profile, TPO, advanced DOM. The advanced DOM is with MBO functionality. Simulated trading, replay mode, cross instrument trading, cloud levels, the EdgePro line, which is what I'll be going over today, the OHLC lines, time and sales, and then, like I said earlier, 300 plus indicators. What is EdgeClear? We are an independent futures brokerage created by traders for traders. We are a award-winning team, multiple clearing relationships, experienced team and founder, Futures Trader 71. I'm sure lots of you know who that is. Continuously innovating and building. We are trader inspired. So to start, let's go over the EdgePro line. What is that? The EdgePro line is basically a theoretical average. It shows your theoretical entry price, so you know where your break even is. So as you can see on my charts, we have these circles which show where I entered long and short. And then as I zoom in over here, it'll show my average entry for that day. This is my break even price for that trade that I made. So some people wanted to know if the EdgePro line worked without showing these circles. This was a common question that I was getting asked. So if you go into the settings and displayed info is automatically checked to both, if you select none, this will show nothing. So you can get rid of basically showing any information at all. If you only want to see the trade dots, it'll only show the trade dots. And then only open positions, it'll only show the open positions. So the trade dots is the contracts added or traded at that position I meant. And then the open position side is where you opened each position at. So if you want to show none, the theoretical, the EdgePro line will still show your average. As I enter in, it'll just show only the line and will disappear as I exit the trade. So you'll see the line will start to move as, well, if it moves, there we go. So then as it moves, usually the market's not moving too much right now, as quickly as I'd like. So that's what the EdgePro line does. You can also configure the colors of it. You can configure, you don't have to show the line at all either. If you just want, what's up?
Real quickly, can you display the line? I think if you just buy 7, like you did.
Yeah.
Yep, and then change the quantity to 1. And then try to take one off.
Oh,
if
there
it
you
goes
go.
in your favor, and obviously it's, yep, it's obviously, there it's starting to move now.
Yeah, so now, there you go. So then you can see, oops, you can see the line started to increase, it started to move up. So if you didn't want to see the line, a lot of people were asking about that as well. It'll still show your average at this price without the line. So as it increases here, you'll see that that's where my break even is right here, as Max said. That is where the break even price is. You can change the colors. Buy colors are set to buy is set to yellow, and then sell is set to purple. This will also show in the DOM. This is another cool feature. If you go to all settings, it shows there's not too much else you can change in here. But I figured this was a cool feature to show, and I also wanted to make sure that everybody here knew that you didn't have to show the circles or the dots as that's not a necessary thing to show. And you also don't have to show the line as well if you don't want to see it. So then going back to the PowerPoint, there we go. Going back to the PowerPoint, next I'll show cloud levels. So been getting a lot of question about this, and I wanted to show some, different things that you can do within the cloud levels and show just kind of like a quick overview of this. So since I don't have it on, a quick way to get to all studies is Control T. Type in cloud levels. Let's access this. So the way to import any of your CSV files, wherever you may grab your cloud levels from, if you grab them from, outside source, outside of your, you creating them yourself, this is where you would essentially put them in there. So if you go to select, you can either put in a web address or access the file locally. So accessing the file locally would be if you created it onto your computer and you want to access that from your computer. The web address would be if you have it on a server somewhere, or if you have it, on like I said, on a server outside of your computer on the cloud, basically. This is where you will paste in that link right in that area, the source. Now, where the labels display, you don't have to put it on the chart and DOM. You can change that. The text, you can configure everything here. So when I hit create, it's going to show the levels on my chart. This is just a sample file that we have built into the software. So you can suppress the prices, so you can actually show the price on there. There's a lot you can do and configure. You can get rid of the labels completely. A lot of stuff that you can do. The other thing I want to mention is the update interval. This is how frequently it is going to check the file for updates. So if you have a file on your computer that is constantly updating, you would probably want to put this to a lower amount. And remember, this is in minutes, so you probably put this to a lower amount so that it'll check the file more frequently if the file is updating more frequently. So this is something that I would keep in mind when you have your if you create cloud levels or ever use them. This is something that I would keep in mind. Then text align on the left, that's just this. So this is just cloud levels. Been getting a lot of questions on how to paste in the source, or if the file has to be on the cloud or not. That is completely up to the user of the cloud levels. So just wanted to go over those two quickly. If you guys have questions about those, just drop them in the chat. We do have questions that were submitted previously prior to the webinar. So I'll go over those while you guys ask questions either about cloud levels, EdgePro Line, or anything that you were curious about within EdgeProX that I can answer while I have you in the webinar. So some of the questions that we got asked were, how can I group 7 exits together into one exit? So this will just be done in a bracket order, but the difference is when this person is setting up that bracket order, they will have to, so we'll go to I'll show you this. We'll go into here, exit strategies. So we went into the settings, exit strategies, and then I'm going to edit this specific bracket since I did this prior to the webinar. So we'll edit this. So in order to set up a 7 order to exit at the same time and on both the stop and target side, all you have to do is understand the quantity. So what I did was I took 100% divided by 7, or actually divided by 6 to get each 14%, and then this one would be 16%. So you have to make sure that it takes the orders off evenly. And then all I did was set the stop at the exact same price, or tick, because this is going to be in ticks. And then I set the targets all to be at the same ticks. So on both ends of it, it's going to be taken off at exactly the same tick, and this will be exactly the same tick. And when I apply this, there we go. So when I apply this to the chart and hit buy, so buy market, oops, sorry, that didn't show because of the quantity. So if you have to go to a 7 in order for it to show all 7. So if I hit buy, you'll see that my orders are 7. So it'll exit at all 7 at one area, and the stop is going to exit at all 7 at one area. And that's how that was able to be accomplished, was just setting those ticks to be at the exact same number. So we'll flatten this. Just messing up my statistics on my simulated account here, but I love you guys, so I won't be able to, I'll just let that slide. So how do I show the OCO before the order is placed? All right, so this is a new update here in EdgeProX. If I hover my my mouse over the DOM, you can see exactly where each OCO will be placed. So if I turn it off though, this doesn't happen. So this is a new update that we put in. And another thing is if I go to buy, if I hover over the buy, it won't do that either, or the sell. You will have to do this in the DOM itself. So this is where you can see that at. So if I just go through and place them, you'll be able to see that there. So that's how you would be able to do that, just hovering your mouse over and making sure that you have this on. So next question that we'll go to. So the setup details for the volume imprint, large lots and absorption levels. So this one, we will go and set up, we'll go back to the order flow, and I will get rid of some of these other indicators so that you can just see the volume imprint. So when you have the volume, you got to go to the settings for this question. So the volume imprint, so you're looking, I have it set up already, but the large lots that you're looking to do, trade dots. So you'll go to, again, the volume imprint settings, all settings, and then click trade dots. And usually if the trade dots, they'll disappear. So now they're gone. If you hit show trade dots and then you set the minimum trade size, I had it super low so you can see the actual dots, but the default setting is going to be 100. So you can change that to be whatever you'd like. You can change the colors here as well. The other thing that was asked was absorption levels. So the absorption levels can be done through same thing, setting, all settings, imbalance, and then you'll go down to the bottom here. This absorption level is what you were looking for. Just hit display on both ends, apply and update it, and it should show. You might not see it right away, but that will start to show your absorption levels there. Let me see what I have it set to. So you can change the settings on here to have it show more frequently or less frequently. 3 absorption levels. So this is where you can get that absorption level. And then, as I'm sure you're aware, this is already set, but this is the imbalance. So you can have these display as well. So none of them are checked. So you'll have to check all of this in here. That is where you would get the volume imprint, large lots, and absorption levels. So going back, the last question that was asked was, how are pivot points calculated and how customizable are those calculations. So pivot points are calculated by using the previous day high, low, and closing price. So they help establish intraday resistance and support levels. Now, I don't know exactly the mathematical formula to how EdgeProX calculates pivot points. However, they are not as customizable as other platforms may be. So if I pull up pivot points, you can see that you can change the time frame and then you can change the pivot type. So you have these available, and this is where the mathematical formula to calculating this is on the back end, not on the front end. So these are going to change the formula as to which they are calculated at. Now, I don't know what any of that is, to be quite honest with you, but that is where you would change that. If you do know how it's calculated, this is how you would change that there. And then the only other things are the display. So you would change what is shown. You have your resistance lines, pivot lines, support lines, mid lines, and then you have your other stuff down at the bottom. This is where you'd be able to change this and kind of show exactly where the pivots are on your charts. So when I hit apply, you can see that it'll show on my charts the pivot points displayed throughout. So this is how this is calculated as base level as it gets. Like I said, I don't know the formula behind it, but I do know that it's not as customizable. You wouldn't be able to change the exact numbers to how it's calculated. So that is the questions that we had. Did anybody else have any questions on anything that I can answer while we have that time? This is another area where you can go if you guys don't think of anything at the moment. You guys can email support.edgeclear.com if something doesn't come to you right away. And then you can also enter the live chats, or you can call this line or my direct line, which was on the front slide, the first slide. So it looks like we got a question. How can I show my cumulative P&L for the day? So I believe, so I have my session P&L. So I have this at the top here. So as I enter and exit trades, it always shows it here. So you can do this through configure, believe it's configure, preferences, and then I believe it was over in this area. Let me check. I'm not 100% sure how I had that added on the chart. So yeah, I'm not sure how I added that to my chart previously, but I can look into that and send you an email about that. I don't remember where I added that. And then you can also go to the account info tab where you can check that and have that be on your chart. So this is another way to do this is you can check your cumulative P&L for the day by having the account info tab. That doesn't have to be a separate tab. You can also have that go up here, and then you can go to accounts. You'll have your P&L for the day at here, which you can then drag the tab down towards the bottom, and then you'll be able to see unrealized session, and you'll have all your P&L right there. So you can just configure your charts to be how you like. Here at the top, I'm not sure. I'll send you an email about how I got that there because that can be pretty convenient. But as a quick solution, this is a way to do this. Next question. If I have initiated several one lot positions, let's say I have 10 lots now that I've entered over one day at a time, how can I have combined stop and combined exit for all 10? So that'll be the same way that I showed the 7. So that when you add the 10 lot, all it's doing is you just have to make sure that the trade is distributed evenly across all the percentages. So each trade would be taken off at 10% quantity. That's how you would show that's how you'd be able to take off the 10 lot evenly. So when you go to the bracket orders, exit strategies, and I go to edit this, instead of me having 7, I would just click and add 3 more to make it 10. And since this is saying 1 trade and you want to take off this trade evenly, you will have 10% all the way down. So you'll just change this to 10% all the way across, all the way down until it is even across the board, and you'll just have all the ticks be at the same level. So that is how I believe what you're trying to ask, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll just hit OK. Reading through the other questions, let me see. So, somebody asked how frequently the platform is updated. We're constantly sending in, feature requests to the developers. They have a lot of requests on their plate right now. So it may seem like, it's taken a while to get some of those things updated, but they are updating it pretty frequently. I don't know, I would say, on a per month basis, they kind of cycle through and get, an update through, but it depends on how many feature requests they get. So, and then EdgeProX forum, we don't have an EdgeProX forum. Like I said, if you have questions about it, you can always just reach out to us here. That would be like a quick and easy way to get a hold of us. If you have any questions about anything, this is where we deal with most of the questions. So I would say this is like the #1 communication is the support at EdgeProX at edgeclear.com would be the best place to funnel any questions you have about EdgeProX. So somebody asked, large lots in my volume imprint, there's not a trade dots tab to set a lot size. I have applied defaults to volume imprint and still the trade dots is not showing. So let's go back to the volume imprint here. So if you were to go into the volume imprint here and you don't see these trade dots here, because this is one way to do it, and the other way that we have it set to, another way you can add in big lots or just being able to see large lot orders would be an indicator that we have called big trades. So if you add this to your chart, this is another way that you can see large orders. This is usually added to the heat map. So usually we have this added to the heat map. This is big trades. This is another way you can see large orders, and you can configure this to be the max size, I think, is at 50. So it's going to show any order above 50. So if or maybe not, that's not the right one. So if you go into here, that's where you can, oh, here you go. This is where you can add in the minimum trade size. So that's where you can change that. That's another way to do that. I think that's what you're asking about. So I'm not sure why you wouldn't see the trade dots in the volume imprint. If you want to send me an email and I can take a closer look at that, I can definitely help you out further with that. No, there is not community created indicators. You are able to customize your own indicators in EdgeProX if you know how to code JavaScript. You can do that, but we don't offer the ability to create your own strategies. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. It's not, you wouldn't be able to create your own strategies in EdgeProX, but you would be able to customize your own indicators if you'd like. So if there aren't any other questions, I can definitely email those questions that I was unable to answer. regarding the trade lot order, I can definitely email you and we can talk further about that. But I believe I answered everybody else's questions. So thank you to everybody that showed up, and definitely appreciate this. This was awesome. My first time doing the webinar by myself. I feel like I took the training wheels off, riding my bike on my own again. So thanks everybody.
Gee, you did great. I realized that nobody probably knew I was here. My name is Max, but I said that earlier. There is going to be a recording for this. Gee, you did awesome.
Appreciate it.
So thank you for this. And, gee, looking forward to seeing you do more of these.
Indeed, indeed. All right. So did you have anything else to say, Max?
No.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll end this, and we'll reach out to you guys if about those questions that we didn't get answered. Have a great day, guys.
Have a good one, guys. Oh, hold on. Ryan said the webinar recordings are in YouTube. Are on YouTube, but we do try to send those out. So we'll probably send those out. Don't quote me on it. But we hope to send it out to everyone here.
Yeah.
But we do upload to our YouTube page. So give YouTube page a follow, because then you'll get notification when we upload any videos. That's it.
Awesome.
All right, guys. It was great. Great being here, and we'll chat soon. Thanks, G.